Big rock.
You pick rock. Broke my scissors.
I picked Spock.
Spock.
You win. It's the logical choice.
Yeah. So what have you done? What have you played this week?
Well, I did a lot of Rec Room because they're doing the Fall Festival is a creator contest that they were doing where you to build a room that's around the theme of the fall, and then it's open for the community voting now. So I've been going through a few of those rooms and making videos. I've got one uploaded already, a few more on the way. I started doing the Tilt Brush version of the Inktober drawing challenge. There's a prompt every day, and I started out behind. I've caught up almost. I haven't done today's prompt yet, but hopefully I'll get that done before the end of the night. And I replayed August on the Oculus Quest today, having finally gotten the firmware version 9 update, and so I was able to finally test it out. So.
Oh, and by the way, I saw the fairy ring that you posted in your Tilt Brush. Yeah, it was great. Really interesting. Just a little too hidden. I really had to search for it through those trees. You know.
Well, it's supposed to be hidden, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it was a bad adventure. I'm just telling you it was a little hidden. Mikey, you want to give us a little of your week? VR?
Yeah, sure. I've been waiting all week to get that that little cover.
Oh, you got it.
Oh yeah, I got it. Nice. And I tried it. It's super nice. The only thing is that the fabric makes it slide a bit more, so I had to tighten it a bit more. But it's only in games where you move your head a lot that you feel it. It's a bit more wobbly, but I just like tighten up a bit and it's all good now. And I played the Horizon and Rec Room, Orbis, a bunch of games, like a lot of games, yeah.
I forgot about that. I was with you in Orbis last night.
Yeah. And you, Brad?
Well, this week, Death Horizon I played, which I really enjoyed. I mean, it's still a little glitchy. I can't wait till they fix it and give smooth locomotion, which is a big thing that we've talked about, and multiplayer, which I miss. But the climbing that they've added to it and the way that they've handled the graphics is excellent. I noticed that they've used a much darker shadow on the zombies, so that as they get closer, you're not looking at any sort of graphic malfunction. You just see the red eyes coming at you. So I thought that was kind of cool on their part. Other than that, I tried the archery alpha or beta in Ninja Legends.
Yeah.
Which I liked, but definitely needs some work. You can see it's beta. I would like that to be fixed. Also, they're just not taking... The two things I noticed were you have to really draw to get any distance. And sometimes when you get that close, or you keep your hand and controller so close to the headset for that, it just floats away. Also, they have it so that it automatically... You have to reach behind your shoulder to grab the arrow, which is fine in a multiplayer game and you have other people covering you. But when there's 6 ninjas coming at you and you have to reach behind your back, no. Now, you have an override in your joystick at the beginning of a level, and I suggested to them that the option should be to pull it out of the back and to be able to just shoot at will in a single-player game fighting a multiplayer-type battle. So, other than that, though, it was kind of cool. Nice to add to it and see them adding.
It's a nice addition, yeah.
I missed the Orbis. I'm sorry, guys. That night was really hectic. So, and
No
Orbis just
problem.
takes you away for 2 hours. It's not like you could say I'm
Yeah.
leaving for 10 minutes. It's you're
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
It's not like Storm World where you could go in there for 20 minutes. Although you stay for 2 hours, but you can go for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like you come for the donut and you stay for the whole pot of coffee.
Oh yeah, but then you have the second donut, and then the waistline goes. It's a good thing we're moving around with the Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny to see how active everybody is getting, though. It really is. It's nice.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Nobody's-
because
Go ahead.
yeah, it's different than the couch life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No more couch potatoes.
Oh,
Everybody's
no.
actually moving and sweating. It's like.
Oh, yeah. The gamers will be in good shape. Yeah.
Oh, it's nice to see the different people joining our Discord group. I saw our latest member from Scotland.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's just an old fart.
Yeah, it's great. I love the name. I love the picture, his comments. But yeah, it's really fantastic because I was having this discussion with someone the other day, and they were saying something about, well, how many VR headsets are really people buying? And I said, well, it's not price that's holding them back at this point because it's the same price as getting into a console.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
really what type of experience do you want to have?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm really happy to see the graphical upgrades that they're doing. Like they all seem to be doing it. I notice all my apps are upgrading and all the graphics seem to be getting better lately. And that's really good because that's what I think a lot of people are looking for now to make that jump into VR.
Yeah, especially that this is a bit of a later topic, but especially that now that you will be able to
foreshadowing now.
yeah.
Right.
Especially now that you can buy the Quest and later buy a PC and just plug it in.
Right.
So you can get into VR for like 500, I think, in US. 400.
You
Yeah. The
still need the
64 gigabyte is like the 400 and the 128 says 500. So basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get as for the same price as a console, you get a console. So
Yeah.
Well, no, you get more than a console because you get the mobility and
Oh yeah, you do.
And you get a gateway to another world.
Yeah.
alternate realities. What a concept.
Many other worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
The other world that has you can load into your storage space.
yeah. So let's jump in the main topics. We have OC6 that happened last week.
Mhm.
So a lot of
You were there.
things to talk about. I was there, yeah.
Mikey.
It was a
Yes.
really good experience, especially to meet people that I've been talking with for years without seeing them in real life. And we spent time together, so it was nice. So the keynote started. I think it was one of the first revealed, the end tracking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hand tracking it's amazing that they're putting that in there so
On
quickly.
Oculus Quest. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I remember we had this chat on the Discord the morning of OC6, and some people was like super negative about it, saying no, it cannot fit in the Quest. So I was like, I'm not sure. Let's see and find out what happens, And when they revealed it, I was like, oh man, like I wanted to believe that it would be on the Quest, but I wasn't sure that it could be on the Quest. But yeah, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I had high hopes for this thing way back in the day. It unfortunately didn't quite live up to the promises. Especially, well, I mean, I've got this mounting bracket thing. I was intending to mount it on my Gear VR and all of that, and then do that whole route, but I could never get it to work because my computers are not so strong enough for VR. But I am looking forward to being able to use hand tracking in VR. That'll open up some new possibilities.
I think, well, it's strange because obviously you're not going to be able to use it in every game.
No.
Because the interface would be literally in your face the entire time. So, like I could see playing a game of Jenga and I could see, using it in alternate times. And at times like that, something like the Mammoth Grip where you could just slide it off and use your hand if you need to. I don't know how they're going to implement it yet, obviously. So
now, if I remember right from what I've read, it's going to you have to go into the settings or something and then choose which interface you want. You're not necessarily going to be able to do it on the fly, like, oh, my controller died. Okay, I'll just switch to my hands or whatever.
Yeah, no, I could
I
could understand that.
Yeah, you use two different systems, so I think it was about the contrast. It's switching to another type of contrast to track the ends. So you can't use because I was asking, can you use one end and one controller? So you have the joystick, but you still have the freedom of one hand. And they said no, you can't, because it can't be on screen at the same time.
Right.
Yeah.
Wait for Carmack to make it happen. I think it's really interesting that. Well, first, I think hand tracking will bring a whole new level to certain gameplay.
Yeah. Not every game is going to need it, obviously.
Obviously, but it's going to be very cool, and it's just a nice new step, and I can't wait to see what they do with more avatar creation. I thought they were going to do more with avatars at OC6, to be honest with you. When they showed Boz in the living room with his father, and I'm waiting for this whole thing to evolve. And I was just on the fly here listening when Silver was talking about creating in Rec Room, that it seems like Horizon sounds very much like Rec Room by Facebook.
Yeah,
it does kind of. You're right.
Well, it's a social hub, and by the way, I know that they haven't really talked about it, but this is the third generation of Avatar that will launch with Horizon. So
I think I've seen that.
They changed the Avatar a bit, and Carmack even said that they're not quite happy with where they are with the Avatar system. So I'm pretty sure that 1 year away from now, we will find out about their fourth generation of Avatar and maybe the fifth one too. So
maybe eventually we'll end up on Pandora.
Yeah.
And get Unobtainium.
Avatar. I'm sorry.
No, Unobtainium. That was the best name ever for any. I just sat there and wondered how many people are listening to what they're saying.
Right.
Somebody bring us back on subject.
About Horizon.
Yep.
My thoughts were, I like the idea, but I've always gotten the impression that what people were looking for was a version of Oculus Home, as in the customizable, shareable, visitable home space that Rift has, but on the Quest. And I mean, it's capable of that. If it can run an app like AltSpace, Horizon, etc., where you walk around and you can edit and you can make things, bring things in, surely they can do a Quest the version of that. So, but obviously that they've got some reason why they're not. So.
Well, I think they are killing rooms, and I think Home is the next one because someone said, I'm not sure of the source though, but someone said that you would be able to launch games in Horizon, and if that's the case, I mean, there's no reason for Home to exist anymore, because if you can get like trophies or stuff like that in games that you complete and unlock that in Horizon, so you have kind of physical achievement that you can place and show off in your rooms in Horizon, there's no more reason for Oculus Home to exist. So maybe that's where they're going, because Horizon sounds a lot more like physical, like, well, not physical because it's virtual, but virtual
virtually
Facebook. Yeah, virtually physical Facebook. So it looks like the mindset of Facebook built in VR.
Right.
So it
Very much
shows
so.
that Facebook is behind Oculus.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's like WhatsApp VR with if you could build a room in WhatsApp, you know. It's
Yeah.
like, but it seems very much like that. Their social hub is going to start with Horizon and then move from there.
Yeah.
And then move beyond the horizon.
Ooh. I like that.
And yeah, so talking about Horizon and reveals and stuff like that, we also had the ecosystem building stronger than ever with the Go games and the Go upgrades. And so they link the Go to the Quest, and then later we will talk about what they did with the Rift and the Quest too. So the Go upgrade is a pretty big one.
Tremendous. It really is. And people like Mikey, who invested heavily in the ecosystem, were rewarded by getting a lot of money to give back to them. It was nice.
Yeah.
You probably got like $125 credit at least.
Oh, well.
The first day, right.
Yeah. Well, no, to be honest, I think they forgot quite a bit of games because I just got 2 refounded out of 5, I think. But maybe I will get more later. I don't know. So we'll see.
The rollout's a little while
later.
Yeah. So,
well, yeah. If you ask for more credit to be able to give it back to them, they're not going to give you that much trouble.
Yeah, it's true. But I mean, it's games that I wanted anyway. So, I mean, I never expected to get that back. So, I'm really happy that. Yeah, it's a gift. So I'm really happy with what I got, and I already invested a bit of it because Dreadhall came out. So.
Oh, did you go for Dreadhall? You know, it's like I've been wondering because people are saying it's still great.
I was considering, but amazing. I haven't decided yet.
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I opened it and it's gorgeous. I played the Rift version, I played the Vive version, the Daydream version, and the Go version.
Mm-hmm.
And the only one I haven't played is the PSVR version. So I got the Quest one, and it's closer to the Rift than it is to the Go, like visually, and it's even more intense than the Go because you can lean around corners and do stuff like that, and you really have to lift your lantern, and when you're reading your map, you have to put the lantern on top of it just so you see it. So it's a really intense game. So I've just I got it last night. I had an hockey game, so I came home pretty late, and I just tried 5 minutes, and it was enough for me.
Well, that's just it. Is everybody seems to be writing that they just sort of crap their pants when they play. It's just not really a.
It's an intense game.
I am not easily scared. I played the original Face of Fears on the VR. I was like, yeah. But in Dreadhalls, I was playing it early in the morning, and at the time we had our dog in a crate, and so he was just scrabbling around, but I didn't know he was doing that. So all the while I'm exploring, I'm hearing and I'm like, what monster is that? So it's just added to it.
Did you give the dog an extra milk bone for? Did you give the dog an extra milk bone for playing a part?
No.
He added to the immersion.
Rewarded for that.
And go ahead.
I also was playing Dash, the beta version.
Yeah.
The one thing is, that's the first game that's given me motion sickness since Void Racer.
Really?
Yeah. Well, when I was playing against the AI, because it doesn't seem that anybody's playing except for
Yeah.
you know, um, they really take off. And you're basically, they give you your first tutorial, and it's like, okay, cool. And then it's like, here you go, race these people. It's they just take off, and you're trying to keep up, and then
I
play
figured
with
out
these different things.
how to
They
take
only
off.
show you how to use 3 of the weapons, and all of a sudden you have 20 different
Right.
weapons showing up while
Yeah.
you're driving, trying to figure out, do I reach this? If you go to reach for the weapon,
throw
crash
it.
into the wall. It's like, so I
Yeah.
loved it. It was a lot of fun, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
how did you guys do with it?
Oh, I've been playing it as well, and I've got some things figured out. I can to drift to pretty well now, and I figured out how to not start off so far behind everybody. If you are revving your engine periodically as it's counting down, and then at the very last second, go to full throttle. It sends you flying off with the rest of them.
Yeah. A bit like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you are just holding down the entire time and it counts down, you're left with the rubber duckies circling your head and you can't move for a second. So.
Yeah, I got pretty good at it too. Well, pretty good. I mean, I'm bad at racing game, but for my skill level, I think I'm good. So I can't beat the AI, but I'm pretty sure that once I jump online, I will get destroyed. But that's why I will stay offline for a while. But yeah, it's I mean, visually it's fun to look at. It's fun to watch, and the controls are great. I think they did great with the right hand, where you pick up your weapon, you shoot, or you throw, or you knock people out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I was initially thinking that it'd be better if you had to actually grab instead of just to touch. But then I got to thinking that's one more thing that you would have to do.
Yeah.
So that's
You
probably
already have so much to do.
to reach out and touch it and don't have to worry about I got to grab it and I got to hold on to it now, and you just reach out and touch it and automatically attaches. That's probably a good decision.
Yeah, because when you have your eyes on the road, you don't exactly know where your hand is. So if you have to look at your hand to actually grab it, you might run into a wall. Well, it would be my case. So
yeah, no, believe me, it happens. If you look, it's like, well, what is that? And all of a sudden you hit the wall. They take off, and
yeah, it's over.
About the visual appeal of it, I described it to my wife as it's like Mario Kart and Sugar Rush from Wreck-It Ralph had a baby. Yeah. That's kind of what it is. So graphic, it reminds me of Sugar Rush.
And you have those little robot balls, flying around that looks a lot like Sports Scramble.
And they're cool. I mean, they definitely did some work on this thing, but it still needs a little bit of polish. I'm not sure where, but it definitely needs something.
Well, and one thing is it needs a little bit better anti-aliasing on the two-dimensional stuff because it's got all the trolleys around the edges.
Yeah, the loading is horrible. Like the loading screen, they clearly did a PNG, like a transparent file, but forgot some white spot around it.
Yeah.
So this can be fixed easily though. So it's really early access. So
yeah.
I'm
sure all that'll get polished up at the time it's released.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a really, really good game.
Yeah.
I can't wait till there's players, other than
Yeah, that's a day one buy for sure.
Yeah.
And talking about day one, you guys got news about the Climb or Aspire one? looks like those two are games that we heard about a lot, but never saw them on the market.
The Climb is coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Chad promised. I know. Yeah, I don't know about the Climb. I've sort of given up, which means it might come out tomorrow. They're waiting for us to just give up hope completely.
No. Oh
yeah.
Yes.
No, I was just gonna say that reminds me. I saw a demo in the SideQuest app today. I forget what it was called offhand. I would need to look it up, but it's a climbing game that is trying to recreate real locations and hard and difficult to climb, like where you gotta climb that way over a sheer drop into water and whatnot, and where you gotta go yeah.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so that might be a good way to get your climb fixed while you're waiting for it.
Yeah, true.
I was really waiting for eSpire 1. That was the one that had me intrigued.
Me too.
Because the idea of being, inside of a drone, it was great. It was sort of like Red Matter, it gave you a reason to be able to do what you were doing and be able to believe it. So not having it is like, I'm of a mixed mind because I want to play it. But at the same token, if it's going to be disappointing or if it's glitchy and you're trying to make it sort of a AAA title, then I guess you have to hold it back until it's perfect.
Yeah, and the game was pushed away, and the thing that is really making me skeptical about it is they had performance issues on PC. So what about a Quest? I mean, they pushed the game on PC because it wasn't stable. It wasn't performing well, and they want to release it on a Quest.
Well,
so the PC is 40 times better.
They heavily optimized for the Quest, but they figured they didn't need to do much optimizing on the PC, and then they realized that they did. I don't know.
Well, the PC had a release date, and the Quest never had one. So that's also something that is and they pushed the date like 4 days before the release date.
Right.
So that is also something. So yeah.
Sort of like Battlewake. Battlewake, which is you have 2 copies of that, don't you, Mike?
I have 2 copies, yeah, and I played this week the PC VR version.
Right.
And I was in the beta too, but I played for the first time since I'm not in the beta anymore. And it's a really, really good game, but it's so repetitive. So I think it's not for everyone. It is for me because I just like being a pirate. But if you don't mind being a pirate, you won't like this game, I think, because it's cool for the first hour or two, and then it's just repeating nonstop. So it's not for everyone, but
the exact same thing could be said about a lot of games, like Dash World. It's repetitive. It's the same thing over and over again.
It is.
It's only got the 3 race courses available right now. And once you learn them, you have learned them. Where the fun is in, like with Battlewake, you can play with your friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is great. I haven't tried this yet.
Yeah, like technically, the Dungeons and Dragons is repetitive also, but it's with friends.
Yeah.
Social interaction changes a lot of games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but the thing is that Battlewake is I think you have like 3 modes. Okay. So it's basically you're in the ocean and you're fighting either a bus or a castle, or you're defending the castle. So you're just like always with your ship, just doing that, and then pointing where you want to shoot and pulling the brakes. So that's all you do. So it can get a little more repetitive than some games, but I mean, I really like Sword of Gargantua. That is one of my favorite game, and it's just about smashing enemies with your sword, like nonstop in the same context, same map, same everything is the same enemy waves, and I really like it. So yeah, it really depends on what you're looking into.
Yeah, I guess from the new games that they gave me, which were the updated versions of the Go games and then the Go games themselves, it seems I'm into action, racing, flying, and so yeah, I love swords. Looking forward to playing some tomorrow, and that's a great game. It really and underrated. That's the thing that gets to me. Is like I don't know why it never got a following. I really.
It should be a top seller.
I think it got eclipsed by another game that came out a couple days later or something, or on the same day. I forget, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it was around Sirento time, I think. So I know Sirento really took off, big time.
Oh yeah.
And Ninja Legends too. It's just amazing the way that they can give you a variety of games. The only thing there's no variety of is there's Dead and Buried 2 and no other cowboy games, and there's no military sims yet, which is crazy.
There are many in the work though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pavlov in the works. Onward in the works. We've got Medal of Honor announced.
Aspire.
Right? Yeah.
Aspire 1, and I think contractors even have quests on their list to do things. Right. So there's a bunch coming, but none of them are out yet.
Right.
And in this field, of competitive shooters and things like that, we're also getting Echo Arena. And I got to test the Quest version at Oculus Connect, and it was an alpha, and it was performing so well that I just thought they were about to release the game. So I just asked them, will the game be out when I come out of this room? And they were like, no, this is an alpha. I was like, no, wait, this is not an alpha. I've been playing online 4 against 4, I think, with people in the actual room, and we were playing online, chatting, doing all the moves, doing all the things. We played a full game, and that was fully playable. So it could release anytime, I guess.
Well, that seems to be a game that would go with hand tracking as well.
I don't think so, because the hand tracking zone is about this side and like maybe 2.5, 3 feet wide. So in this game, you have to put your hands to grab on walls and look the other directions and shoot your disc and stuff like that.
Right.
So maybe if the tracking was a bit wider.
Right.
I was going to say, you had said something about it being wider and more zombie-like. You didn't like the idea of having.
Oh yeah, you have to put your hands in front of you, and like the height is really, really small compared to the width. Like you can, I tried to, because I tried the hand tracking, and I was just looking right in front of me and seeing where my hand disappeared, and if I put them just like, if I was lowering them, they were just disappearing. It's the same thing if I was going up, but I could just go out of my vision on the sides. So maybe that would be fixed before they release it, because it was in September and they're releasing it somewhere in 2020, so it could change.
Right.
Yeah.
And it will change. It's Oculus, so.
Yep.
Yeah, this is version 0.001.
So. But they have done a really good job, I think, with putting the right games in place. For a wide variety of people. So I know that I could find some game. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I now have so many games I can't choose anymore, and it makes it tough, because then there are certain things I want to do, like tilt brush and other artistic ones, which take up obviously hours of your time, and it's
Yeah.
not taking it up. You're investing yourself in it. It's artwork.
Right.
And then it's like, but I want to play a game and I don't want to learn something new. And I don't know. It
Yeah.
gets to be.
You've almost got to use the planner to plan out what games you're going to play when. Okay, Monday at 10 a.m. is Tilt Brush. Then at 11:30 is Swords of Gargantua.
This is me.
Right.
This is me. I have to plan when, I just go in my library and I note games that I haven't played for a while. And I just ask on Discord if someone want to play this game, or I try to find people for certain games or solo games. I try to play them when everyone is, not able to play purpose or things like that. When no one can play online, I'm like, oh yes, I can just try this game that I haven't played for like a month, and I'm just jumping on this one. And
Right.
But I mean, if someone's available, I just want to play a multiplayer game because I usually prefer multiplayer games. But
Yeah.
Although they've
Yeah.
been coming out with so many single player games lately, it's I prefer games like Elven Assassin where we all get together and we can,
oh yeah,
root each other on, and that's a lot more fun. But then
Yeah.
again, there's games like Vader Immortal and things which obviously you can't share with anybody else. And I still haven't played part 2.
oh really?
Yeah, I don't know whether to just jump right in or go back to part 1 and follow the storyline.
I haven't
Oh,
played part
yeah.
1 yet.
Oh yeah, it's really good. I mean, you should play part 1 and then continue with part 2, because it would take you about an hour and a half to do the 2.
Right.
So I mean, it would feel more like a full game, and you will appreciate it even more.
That's what I thought. And I thought they did some enhancements also to the graphics after the first release, which
Yeah, the second one looked better.
Oh.
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. And it looked like the
I think
dojo.
this is the first time that the sequel was better than the original.
Well, certainly in the
At least
Star
on the
Wars
graphics.
franchise, right? Speaking of which, Mike, you really did understand what tribbles were too quickly to say that you don't watch Star Trek or are not familiar. So,
Google.
Really fast Google fingers.
Yeah.
that's true. Google does make us all smart, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, I
Makes
just
it
saw.
easier.
Yeah, I just saw that word that I never heard about, and I was like, "Oh, is that a new word for me?" And I just googled it, and I was like, "Oh no, that's like Gremlins, but from Star Trek."
Well, not quite gremlins. They were pretty much the opposite of
Yeah,
gremlins.
Oh yeah.
the fuzzballs that ate and reproduced and ate and reproduced and ate and reproduced.
Okay.
Well, they were born pregnant. Dr. McCoy realized that they were born pregnant. So
Yeah, and the big selling point was that this was set pre the Next Generation. So this was when the Federation was at war with the Klingons. They hated Klingons, so they could detect when there was a Klingon spy in their midst that had undergone some sort of plastic surgery that they're looking on.
that was crazy, that episode. But it was funny. Everybody
Yeah.
remembers it.
Yeah. Anyways, in our notes, we have written down Snowdrift.
Yep.
Yeah, so did you want to talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, I tried to reach the dev, but couldn't get an answer. And I tried to find more info about the game because I really like what we've seen. The 3 1-second parts that we saw. That was the best 3 seconds I've seen on Quest yet, because I'm a big fan of survival games, and being able to actually move in it will be even better. Because I've played The Forest in VR, which is a flat game that they translated into the VR game, and it's not very well translated because it's not made for VR. So, but it's good for what they had in their hands, and I just can't imagine a survival game that is built with VR in mind. That would be crazy. Because that part with the bear jumping on it and stuff like that in VR, it's so much better. than on flat screen because you're there and the bear's jumping at you. It's not just jumping in a screen in front of you. So yeah, that would be crazy.
If they could do Face Your Fears and they could do Dread Halls, and they could certainly do something like that.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Yeah. And what's your thought about survival games in general and Snowdrift?
My basic instinct is just that right now there are none. So I would love a different genre to be added. And that sounds like one that would really be good because you take things like you do in Raccoon Lagoon, where you chop down your trees and help your furry friends, and instead you have to save your life from the bloody cannibals that are going to kill you if you don't survive. To me, that's more impetus than making sure my little fuzzy friend here gets a nice little home. You know, it's like,
That's motivating, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
I was gonna say, while you were talking about it, I was thinking of the National Geographic Explorer VR, the game. They have the section of it where you are you have to climb up to the ice cliff and you're on top, and then you have to survive a snowstorm up there. You gotta get the tent ready and secure, and then you have to go out and get something during it out of the bins or the crates, and that was one of my favorite parts of it, even though it didn't really feel too dangerous because I knew this was kind of a guided experience, and there was no possibility of failing or dying in it, but that was kind of the one of my favorite experiences of it, and I was like survival light. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, we don't want to have a draconian game where if you don't survive, you die, literally.
Well, I don't mean die in real life, but
Right. But yeah, I know. I mean, that is one of the things that is lacking in VR is that you're not going to suffer for your mistake. So, that's where the haptic suits come in.
yeah. They're really hard
That's where the
haptic
suits that can do hot and cold to come in.
Yeah.
So when you're in that blizzard and you're actually starting to feel cold.
Yeah.
The only two times that has ever happened to me is in Quiver. I actually felt cold when I was on the stand there, just the way that they did and also in the Rift version of Arkham VR, where you went into Batman and you went down into the Batcave.
Yeah.
I swear, when you entered the Batcave, you felt the temperature drop like 10 degrees. It was the freakiest experience I ever had.
That reminds me of my first time ever trying Tilt Brush. I was trying it on the Vive demo at a Microsoft store, and I used the Fire Brush, and I got right up next to it with the headset. I was looking at it, and I could have sworn that I felt heat on my face.
Right, so, it's incredible what they can do.
Yeah.
It's all brain trickery.
Yep.
Oh, it is. I keep reading all these stories about the neurological implants that they're doing. To me, the most fascinating thing about OC6, before we get off the subject, was when they talked about the control band that they had acquired for the wrist, which translates neural impulses into digital signals to the computer. And you're talking about a wristband. It's like, move over, Apple Watch. I think I'm waiting.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like that have been around for a lot longer than you might think. Way back when, I used to have, I forget exactly what it was called now, but it was a device and some games put out by a company called The Other 90%. And it was basically... when you go to the doctor and you have a pulse oximeter reading, they have your the finger in the thing and is reading your pulse and your oxygen level and whatnot. Only because this was a galvanic skin response reader, and the idea is that you could play the games just by thinking, because you could train so that it knew you were thinking left when it felt this the change in the reading on your finger, or you're thinking right, or you're thinking fire, and one of the things was a bowling game where you could control the ball going down the lane by thinking left or right,
There's a
It didn't
biorhythm.
really take off, but that stuff has been lurking in the background all this time. So
Right. But that was like a biorhythm feedback type system, like you're saying with the galvanic response, and it was. But this is like,
yeah,
yeah,
so this
it
is
really
more,
works.
yeah, so
this is
more
next step. Yeah.
more sophisticated. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, today they showed the guy in the robotic suit. Did you see that article?
No.
Yeah.
It's just it's a neural interface,
controlling the arms.
and he controls the entire robot. Yeah. He's walking, and it's just like we are
crazy.
Borg. Yeah, we're becoming Borg at this point. So.
Yeah.
I'm already part Borg. I got an implant in my head.
So you're just ahead of the curve.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I have bionic hearing.
I think the only thing left on our sheet is Oculus Link.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So basically, that means that, well, I mean, there's still reasons to pick a Rift over a Quest if you want to do only PCVR, because it's more comfortable, it's lighter, it's like the screen is better because it's LCD. Well, I don't want to start this war, but LCD against OLED, I prefer LCD, to be honest.
They both have their strengths and weaknesses and their pros and cons.
Yeah. So there's still reasons to go for a Rift if you want to stick to only PCVR. But I mean, if you want to go and open the world, to the mobile VR, just unplug it, go away and play your Quest anywhere. The Quest just became the go-to VR. So
well, it became everything. I mean, it's not only does it become your PC VR, it's also your Go. So if you're not leaving behind the last one, you're moving ahead into the next one.
Yeah.
I don't see where there's a better entry point into VR. And to be honest, I wouldn't buy a Rift S right now.
Me either.
For the comfort level, considering that.
Either, but that's partially because I don't have a computer that can run it. But that's
part of it. And even if I did, which I do, it doesn't provide me with the ability to be portable.
Right.
Yeah.
So. Although, some people have apparently gotten really adept at setting everything up really quickly. But yeah, it's much easier when all you have to do is to take it out of the box and put it on your head.
Yeah.
Oh, if you have a gaming laptop, or if you have, it's very simple setup. The people that talk about it being difficult, or the people that are setting up their first IKEA piece of furniture, it's like, the first time it's rough. After that, it's pretty quick. So I remember once doing 2 nightstands off the topic, and the first one took me an hour and a half, and the second one took me 8 minutes. So it's sort of like the same type deal, I think.
Yeah.
And it's not difficult to align the light boxes, but it's just more crap that you have to carry.
Right. Have a lot of people, I think Carmack, one of them, have said there's more friction. It's like,
yep.
To Gear VR, I've got to take my phone, take it out of the case, pop it in there, wait for it to switch into the Gear VR mode, and then get past the disclaimer And then I can load up an app. Whereas with this, I just pop it on my head. Sometimes I don't even have to, but a lot of the times I do have to say, yes, confirm Guardian, and I'm in.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's absolutely no friction in that regard as to getting into the game. Yeah, no, like we'd spoken about, it is the best all-around VR headset. There really is no comparison to anything else on the market. As a matter of fact, I was reading something about the Cosmos today, which was really interesting. They refused to review it on VR Scout because it's the only headset that uses RGB sensors, cameras, as opposed to the IR cameras that we're using in the Oculus headset. So under low light conditions, it blacks out completely. So where we complain about low light, for them, low light is not direct sunlight. It's like it needs bright light to function at all, which is not good when you know that that's a built-in. They can't correct that.
Right.
No.
True.
No, this is hardware issues, not software issues.
Right.
So yeah. And yeah, the thing with the Quest is, they have those rumors that Microsoft might be trying to integrate Oculus into their Xbox. This is just rumors right now, but if it is the case, I mean, your Quest will become your Go, your Quest, your Rift, and your console VR. So it's like 4-in-1, and it's a super media device because you can watch TV on a huge screen with people from all around the world, and when you're watching that football game with your dad, just like they did at Oculus. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's inevitable.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, is just that we're waiting for it to catch up now with what we expect.
Yeah.
So we're basing everything on expectation because we already have a wonderful system, and we're just like can't wait for the next step.
Right.
It's like
but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, it seems that everybody that gets the Quest, except for the 1% that like to complain about everything, really loves it. I mean, there are complaints sometimes it's a little heavy in the front, but all the complaints are minor compared to all of the just people that really fell in love with VR for the first time by having the 6-DoF, no friction, beautiful graphics, and didn't realize all the other stuff that they were getting, like a Christmas bonus from Carmack in terms of updates and upgrades and firmware stuff.
I was going to say, in regard to the Oculus Link, what I am curious about, I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but if I remember right, when you are having it hooked up to your computer and is streaming in to the headset, it is effectively down sampling the 90 hertz to the Quest to 72 hertz. So what I'm wondering is, would that possibly open the door to a computer like mine, which is just a little bit underpowered and can't do the 90 frames per second, but it probably could do a 60 frames per second or has 72 frames per second? Would that possibly open the door to this being able to power that, or would it still, because of the nature of the Oculus on the PC and the Steam on the PC, would it still have to be at the 90 frames per second?
Yeah, I think the frame change is happening in the conversion.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's happening when the game is rendering.
Right, but what I'm wondering is, could this possibly open the door to, say, even Oculus having a checkbox in the Oculus app on the computer or something that says, yes, I know my computer can't handle 90 frames per second, but it can handle 72, and I'm only going to use it with the Quest, with the link, so it, so it only tries to run it at 72, or, I'm just speculating here, just throwing out ideas.
You could set your graphic quality now with the graphic cards to, a lower graphic quality or a higher graphic quality depending on the card. So I don't see why that wouldn't be a...
Yeah, so, I'm like, well, this might open the door to me not needing to spend $500 extra and, upgrade my desktop with a new graphics card and all,
Yeah,
but I don't know.
That'd be great.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that if they really were going to go for something, since they're jumping into AR pretty quickly, I would think that they would be going for that tethering to the phone type deal.
Yeah.
And keep the mobility aspect of the Untethered VR podcast dear to our hearts, untethering, and keep that, like a battery. It's just going to sit in your pocket as opposed to having to have a whole PC.
And it's easy to upgrade.
You just have your phone, and that's the...
Well, yeah. This is kind of going off of the Oculus focus that we've had this whole episode so far, but the Apple AR glasses, the sneak peeks and whatnot that we've seen, and the Tilt 5, those are all phone powered or a pocket to PC powered. If you look, they've got like a phone, and it's plugged into the phone, and then it's plugged in to the headset or the glasses. So that's quite possibly the immediate future of...
Right, the intermediate future.
Right. Immediate future of the augmented reality glasses is powered by your phone, because my phone, in some ways, is more powerful than my laptop.
It's not uncommon these days.
It can do VR. My laptop can't. So
exactly. Well, yeah, what they squeeze out now in the new chipset, the 855 Plus, that's coming out now, and it's coming out in phones that are under $600. It's like, say what?
Yep.
Some amazing things are happening in tech. So our predictions at this point are based on what's happening on a human level that we can grasp, as opposed to how quickly things are changing.
Yeah. So it's been over an hour.
Ooh, this is our 45-minute podcast. Went over an hour, huh?
Yeah. This is the 45 minutes. Well, I expect it to be even longer than that, because we had a lot to chat about today.
Yeah.
And I think we went through everything.
The only thing I think we missed was the 9 update firmware. But we could get into that in another episode.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention the whole VR chat, the virtual market stuff, but I've got a video of that up on my channel, the Quest version of it. So
so I think I had nothing to add to this.
Wait, let me correct that. I think we have a million things to add to this, which we will in the coming weeks. Luckily for us, this is just the beginning, not the end. And,
this is not the end. This is not the beginning. This is merely the beginning of the end.
Or the end of the beginning.
Yeah,
and we know that the minute we stop talking, we will continue chatting. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure bringing this to you. We hope you all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And enjoy our next podcast along with us. And if you have any suggestions, we'll give you a link to send it to. And we'd like to include everyone in this.
Yeah. And this is a weekly podcast, so expect it to be released every week.
Yeah. And just remember, when it comes to the climb, no good news is good news.
And signing off. Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, take care. See you.
Oh, you ended it by leaving. Okay.
Hey, how's it going? When he was leaving, he wasn't kidding. Catch you on the Discord, I guess. Weird. I know. It says he's recording this.
But it's not here.
No, that's too freaky.
Okay. All right. So.
Now we're 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Here's this message coming across my screen.
Yep. All right. So I guess we'll send out to that.
Okay. I'll catch you later.
Yep. Continue it in the Discord, probably.
Yeah. I'm sure in a couple of minutes.